Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Pine Pass in Cities Skylines, where today we're looking at a Jeep. It's a lovely Jeep. Nice red Jeep, removable hardtop, a little snow on it. But I'm more interested in its owner, who's currently at home, Davies, who is currently a technician at Goods Unlimited. And when Sterling gets done with work for a day, he goes home, he relaxes, and as he's sitting here in his bedroom, staring out the window, he sees the trees behind the house, and he thinks, that's a nice natural resource, even though it does tend to stay on fire a lot. Yeah, this city has not stopped burning in like 3 episodes. This fire just keeps spreading to different places. It gets put out and it'll spread anyway. Very flammable town here. But Sterling has decided he wants to try his hand at forestry. And what better place to do it than in his very own backyard? There's a few trees here. There's a little bit that we could get started with. So we could make a small forestry area right back here. It's next to some other industry. So some good synergy with that. It's right here off the main collector into town. So we could get right onto the highway with any goods that we want to sell outside. But we're not going to do Cedar Industrial Estates. Let's get some roads in first, though, before we get too far into this. And we'll just continue with our dirt roads for now. And I want to bring this back quite a ways here. And then I'm just trying to eyeball it and go across. I think this will be our best bet. I'm just trying to pay attention to my train heights, so we don't get too many challenges in that regard. And then I'm just going to come in with, we already did the industry area because I was paying attention to what I did 3 minutes ago. And we're going to come into our forestry industry, and 20 grand Sterling has been saving for quite a while, but he's ready to do it. We are ready to create Sterling Davies lumber. Yes. And it's now just costing him lots of money. Of course, it has no water pipes, no heating. What are the trees going to need heating? They're going to need water, but I don't know if they're going to need heating. And I just put heating in anyway. Oh well. I meant to click a different thing and then didn't do it. Oh my god, this town is never, ever going to stop burning, is it? I should have done all the detailing. It's all the detailing I did that's now on fire. Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. It's not fine. So what I want to do here is see what type of spacing these need. These are, I can't see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 by 8. Am I looking at that right? I believe that I am. So what I want to do is actually bring another road in this way. So that's 10 there. And then I want to come down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there. So I would want to put my road right here, because I want to bring this off of this road right here. And then maybe just one more. How much are these costing, Mr. Davies? 4 grand. Of course, it looks like the city's paying for it all right now. Generous city founders. So that worked well with 10. So let's come out 10 more and plop down just one more of these. And that should get us started. But of course, we are going to need somewhere to store all of these logs, and we are going to do that with a very small log yard. Hopefully we'll be able to get the heating that it needs off of that. So this is saying it only needs water, so that's good. So the trees don't need heating. That's kind of what I was hoping for, as somebody sends me a Snapchat. How is it people know when I'm recording? And they just managed to send that. And then, of course, the final bit of those savings, and a small loan that Sterling was able to take out, he is going to pick up a sawmill, get that constructed, and then, of course, he's going to need some place for the plain timber to go. And that is the beginning of our first actual major organized industry here in town. I do believe that Sterling has his eye on expanding up the hillside at a later date, but that will have to come later. What I want to turn my attention to now is the city itself has, been going for a few years, 5 years, and has managed to fill up the city coffers a decent amount. And they've got their eye towards some expansion. So we are going to kind of mirror what we have done already. I'm not going to make a connection back into the lumber company just yet. We will eventually, but I want to keep my train heights available for just a minute longer here. So these blocks were 220 each. I think I can get away with like one block right here. Yeah. And then each of these are 400. I just can't remember. It's been close to a month since I last touched this save, so you'll have to excuse me if I don't remember exactly what the grid was. And we're going to do a little bit of a grid back here, but then we're going to deviate from it a little bit, because we do have, as we can see, some terrain challenges, and I really don't want to fight the terrain all that much. It's just not in me to do it. So if we came back under 220, that would have us there, but we don't want to do that. So we're going to just bump over to here, where we have a little bit more space. And this is not wanting to go at 90. There we go. We're just going to bump our grid back one more. And then I think we might be able to get away with just like one more section here before we start getting into anything too terribly challenging. It's already starting to look a little rough. But this will get us at least up towards the hill a little bit. And, the city has been talking to their newest investor, their newest employer, Mr. Sterling Davies, to see if, maybe they can get some synergy with what he has planned. One thing I noticed, and it's probably because it should be following the train, but my roads didn't quite follow the train, and I want them to. So through the power mods, we will just set those auto train height. There we go. And still some weirdness happening with everything, but nothing that we can't handle. And then we're going to go ahead and get our pedestrian paths established. Maybe. Not that. Right there. Cool. That should connect that one. End is a little bit funky, but again, it's something we should be able to deal with. I'm thinking eventually we will have a city park that borders either side of this collector. Though we may do a bit of commercial along it as we get further away from the highway. I haven't quite made up my mind yet, so I'm just going to leave it until I do make up my mind. We've got time. We have plenty of time to figure out what we're going to be doing in Pine Pass. I have some, overall ideas. We talked about those, last video? The video before last? I'm not sure. Let's come out of that, click just anywhere, and then click that. Let's clean this up a little bit. I don't like the way it made these corners, and since we have moved it, why not take advantage of it? So cool, that gets that in. Then we need to come through and upgrade. I don't know that we do need to upgrade to heating for right there. That just gets our water through, because if I come here and then go up another one, It's a bit of overlap, but it's not too bad. And then we can come back that way and that way and that way. And that gets the whole area covered just fine. So let's take a look at what our city services currently look like. For schooling, we've got plenty of capacity. We might need to consider another high school. If so, we could probably get one in down this direction. And then for our healthcare, it's not going to be the greatest back here, but this is a small town. You'd kind of expect it to be, not the best coverage. Same with our fire coverage. It is getting a bit slim. But with where the city budget is right now and losing money, I don't know that they would really want to take on that added expense right now. What I think they would rather do is see the tax base grow. And that is what we are going to do. And I kind of like the idea of there being some commercial, but I am going to expand this out to be a bigger collector. So, yeah. Actually, did I go far enough back here? Did I make an error on my own here? 240, 240. So, why is it? Oh, it's because I went in the middle with my pathway. I don't have a pathway there. Yeah, that's fake. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Okay, good. I was about to say, why do I only have 4 there? So I just placed these paths in the wrong location. These need to bump back one to go in the grid right here. Because if this becomes a collector, then we lose these. So that would become, so it needs to go here. Yeah, it needs to go here. Come on, go in that. Good, there it goes. So yeah, this is where we need the path to be, like that, and then because that'll all bump back one once we get some zoning in here. So yeah, I just don't think it'd be best to zone anything on that just yet. So instead, we're gonna run just a bit of commercial down through that way, and then the rest of this is going to be residential. Every bit of it. We're gonna get that in there. Maybe let's reevaluate that in a second. I want to see what that hillside is like over here. Yeah, I think we'd be fine. But right here with a house and a house here, and I think right here will be fine. Here though, that's starting to get a bit steep. We might be able to get away with it. I'm gonna leave a place for the path to come out later. And then, for some reason, I didn't do this side of the road. I don't know why. And right there. And that gets a good start on all of that. Going to speed up time because we have that power in Cities Skylines. We control time itself. And then we're just going to come through with our pedestrian pathways and see if we can't jump up to our next milestone, which probably so. 4,400 busy town, which will get us some tourism, encourage biking, and some other good things that we can do to help out the town. As you know, it's slowly growing, working its way towards the founders' dreams of being a major winter tourism destination, with a bit of industry, of course, to help. Which, the industry already offering 82 jobs, and making a little bit of money for the city. I would say that would be the taxes that they pay. I know it says profit for the industry, and that makes it a city-owned thing. But we're sticking with the fact that Mr. Davies owns it, even though I don't know where he went to be able to click on him. His Jeep's not here anymore. He may be over here at work. Where did he work? Right here. No, here. Yeah, Goods Unlimited. He works there somewhere. But, of course, we don't know where he is. So, let's see how this area develops without a whole lot of services out here. We are making money again, but let's just kind of keep an eye on this and see how long it takes us to get to that 4,400. And there we go. In just like 2 minutes, we got exactly where we need to be. So we have a few things that we can do, and a few things that we have now unlocked, including better roads, which is kind of exciting. That may be a good capital expenditure for the city to take on to finally get their citizens free of driving on dirt roads, especially in the winter. I would assume that every time it gets warm enough for the snow to melt, it would become kind of gross. And we also got some more. We got a nice wintry version of the fishing pier. I like that. I didn't realize it had a special wintry version. But we got some transit areas with transit opportunities, a lot of unique buildings, and then some stuff I have from the Steam Workshop. And of course, working our way toward high density by getting the larger capacity hospitals and things like that. So one thing, oh my God. One thing I was just about to say, one thing I think that we should really turn our attention to that the city desperately needs is better fire protection to deal with these raging forest fires, because what's happening is they're just continued. You can see that it was over here, it is spread over here, and now over this way, and it just continues to make the loop around the city. It never stops burning. So I do believe that because we're close to water everywhere, that it would be good if the city, maybe even through a state grant, kind of appealed and said, hey, look, our city is burning down. This does cost $1,400 a week, so not the cheapest, but we're going to give it a fairly prominent position here. Sadly, we do not yet have fire watch towers, but I do believe that the choppers are quite aware that there's a fire over there. Man, that gets really laggy when I switch to first person view. Let's speed things back up here and follow the choppers real quick as they go to, well, that's really steep, as they go to start putting some of this out and hopefully bring this perpetual fire to an end. Wow, he just jumped way over there, didn't he? Yeah, there we go. They're starting to drop water on all these buildings that are burning and all the trees. Yes. Excellent, excellent. And how many different times can he drop water with one bucket full? I'm going to say the answer was 3 because now he's done. So yeah, they should be able to bring this under control now. We've only got a few trees burning. Of course, we have a whole city block on fire over here because we did, remember, had a lot of bushes all through here, and that's very flammable. But so one thing I noticed a minute ago is this was saying it didn't have a whole lot of raw forest products. We're producing about 11,000. I want to look and see, is pollution impacting us? No, our pollution is fine. This guy produces 3,200, but I don't know exactly. I'll have to look at the spreadsheet eventually. I don't know exactly how much the sawmill really consumes, but I did see while we were waiting that it was complaining of not enough raw materials, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. It looks like we've got quite a few raw forest products right there, and we may even be importing them. Or are you exporting? You are exporting, so that's good. We are getting some plain timbers, so once that gets over half, we will start exporting there as well, and that will bring us a little bit more profit. Currently operating at a bit of a loss, but we are providing some major employment for the area, which is very nice. So the fire continues to spread this way, but whatever. I want to take a look at our policies, just see if there's anything that we need to review before we start doing any type of roads. And I know that this is a wintry area, but that's no reason you couldn't bundle up and ride your bike. So we are going to go ahead and encourage biking. In fact, let's take a look at what our biking rate is right now. I know it's here somewhere. Cyclists. There we go. We had 98, dropped down to 92 just before we enabled that. We are going to be very considerate about putting in some bike paths to get across. We'll probably go all along our collector here and then just kind of ring around the neighborhoods a little bit just to bring some bikers in. So, gonna slow things back down. Want to take a look at my unemployment. It's fine. Oh my gosh, I suddenly have the hiccups really bad. And we are going to begin bringing in better roads to the community. We could go with things that have trees in them, but the upkeep of 112 versus 96, I think it's kind of pretty obvious. This has 96 and this is 80. This does have a median down the middle. Are these the same cost? Yeah, these are the same cost. I think I'm going to go with the grass just to give us a bit of an upgrade. We are going to lose some paths, it looks like, so we'll have to go back and reestablish those, but I kind of was expecting that anyway, so it's not a huge loss. And then we can finally get our highway operating properly as well, including this is 3-lane that came in. We don't want that. We want just a 2-lane right here. And we mentioned at the very outset of this series that would probably be a problem, the intersection, and indeed it was. It had to use anarchy to get that to go in. So we just need to redo this. We don't want them turning left. We want them going straight there. We don't want anybody using that as a turnaround to just leave town. And then I want to come down here to the workshop and grab our 2-lane highway, or 4-lane highway, 2-lane each way. And that makes a nice entrance to the city, I believe. And then over here on industry side, we will maintain our bike paths, but we are going to just we're going to lose industry. I thought I had that offset. Actually, we're not going to lose industry because for now, we're going to stop the collector there. It may eventually, you know what? It is eventually going to make this turn and go out this way. The movement will change. We'll make this a curve and bring this in a different way. But for now, let's go ahead and just plan for it. Let's just have it done. And then here on our entrances, yeah, I forgot to leave a little gap there. Here on these entrances into these areas, we are going to go with a collector at the beginning so that we can get a dedicated straight on and then left lane once we get on into town. And then here I want to zoom all the way back down this way and find... So my bicycle paths, they are not all divided. I would like... It says a median. I would like it without a median, but with grass. I don't think I get that option, do I? I didn't see it. So I'd like something like this, but with bicycle lanes, and I just don't think it exists. Unless I have it from a workshop road. So we're going to take a look here and see. But I don't believe so. I don't recall having seen one like that. I see a lot of one-ways, a lot of uneven roads. Yeah, doesn't exist. So that's sad, but it's just the reality we're going to have to go with. Maybe once we get into some nicer neighborhoods or as the city becomes a bit more financially secure, we can do something different. I guess we'll have to do just bike lanes. Do we have just bike lanes? Without a median? Could have sworn there were just bike lanes without a median. I'm probably looking right at them, aren't I? I love this new 4-lane road. Yeah, these. There it is. I knew I was looking right at them. So we're going to bring our bicycle path along a good portion of our town here. That was some nice lag. I think what we'll do here is bring it along this way, and hopefully we won't lose any buildings doing this. And hopefully no paths as well. We're going to go right down the middle here and bring it all the way back around. Actually, I went too far, I think. We don't have this. We do have that as a pedestrian area, but they can ride their bikes under there. But just to be sure we can get around, I think we'll come down here. Wasn't exactly how I was planning it, but this will work. And that gets us a nice cycling facility all throughout the town. And then it's just a matter of getting the rest of these roads upgraded. And I realized I made a mistake over here. And we're going to pay for it by re-upgrading these to the ones that cost less. I'm going to go through and get the rest of the streets upgraded in the city. And then we will see where things stand from there. So enjoy the montage. And I believe that has everything upgraded. Of course, we did lose some zoning here. I didn't think we were going to. I thought pausing it would keep it intact, but I was wrong. Oh, hey, the fires are indeed out. I wanted to check this real quick. I'm pretty sure this is just a Rico Street. It is. Cool. It's a really steep tunnel. We're going to ignore that. Looks like we are, on our colder days, starting to suffer a bit with heating availability, right? Oh my gosh, if I can quit hiccuping, that would be brilliant. We are fine right now. In terms of water, we're getting dangerously close, and power is starting to become a concern again as well. But we did lose a few paths here and there that I just want to try to reestablish real quick. I believe there was one back here that I saw go. That did not make a connection, so we're going to grab that and just bring it over like that. And then just kind of real quick scout out anywhere else that some paths may have been destroyed. I know that all of these got obliterated, so we're going to try to get those back in. And then we're also going to add some crosswalks in these areas so that citizens don't have to walk all the way down the street. They can just cross right over. I'm not going to put in traffic lights for them or anything. They'll just have to look both ways and try their best to not get run over. Let's be frank. So at the end of upgrading all this, we're kind of about where we were in terms of money, in terms of income. So I feel good about it. I think it was the right decision. The upgraded roads did enhance property value ever so slightly. Still crap back there, and just around our mall here is really our only bright spot, quite literally bright spot. So a lot of that has to do with the fact that there just aren't any services back here. There's no schools, there's no death care, there's no fire coverage, there's no police coverage, there's no health care. As the city gets in a position to be able to just begin offering those services in those areas, then things should go really well. However, with our newly upgraded roads, by the way, we didn't do the Forestry. You know, Mr. Davies, you're just going to have to start kicking in right now. It looks like the city's kind of having to support you instead of you supporting the city through taxes. So you will gain your upgraded roads once you start kicking in. So our road condition, this is about highway maintenance. Road coverage is snow, even though it is gently thundersnowing right now. Wait, why is it saying we're fine in coverage when we're not? We've clearly got roads that are struggling with snow coverage. Our deep, scary tunnels. Oh, wait, I forgot to put in my crosswalks that I said I was going to do. Let's hope this doesn't cause an error. It shouldn't, because I'm going to try to just use existing nodes instead of adding new ones. Normally when I do this throws an error. Let's see. Yep. I don't know what that error is. I don't know if it's a bad thing that's gonna later on break my game or what, but why is there no node there? It would seem like there would be a node there. Oh, there is. I'm clearly paying attention. And a crossing there, and then that way people can get across the road fairly close to where there's a walking path. If not exactly, they can come down just a little bit. That saves them from having to, cross over and then go all the way down. That makes these paths here in the middle make a little more sense. So there we go. Get that taken care of. And then we are starting to see now snow-covered roads. So let's go back into that view and take a look at our condition again. So I guess it is this one. Coverage. I thought coverage would get greener as we started seeing these snowflakes. Where is road maintenance? Yeah, I really thought that this was about the snow and this was about like the highway department. Yeah, I'm a little stumped on that one. I thought that's kind of how it worked. Regardless, we are going to try to get in a snow dump just back here by industry. Close enough to this collector that it'll be fine. I just wanted to check that. This is $5,000, but only costs $32 a week to upkeep. So we're going to get that in, and then just to help out with our road conditions, we are going to throw in a road maintenance depot as well. And hey, look at that. Sterling Davies lumber is actually produced enough resources and employed enough people. 100, that's not bad. That they've upgraded a little bit. And I think as a reward, we'll give them some improved conditions just to help them extract more and produce more. And maybe even employ a few more people. Nah, 3 people quit. They're like, oh, fine, you got automated robots, I quit. Robots are going to replace us. Down with robots. Cemetery looking good. I just wanted to click on it at random. And then I want to go right back in here. There we go. I guess just because I didn't have that in, it didn't show me my coverage. I don't know. But we can see the snow plows out and moving about. I think that's a snow plow. Or is that that must be. So it is condition. It's coverage. Coverage condition. I'm sure somebody will explain it to me in the comments, or I'll look it up somewhere. But anyways, I think that has been a nice little upgrade for our mountainside town. Up to nearly 5,000 people. Our next milestone will come at 6,500. We'll be able to get universities. We'll be able to get education boost to go with that university. And we'll even get high density, which we will not use. And then we get some other fun stuff for disasters and for all of the university stuff. There's the word I'm looking for. What I want to do real quick before we wrap it up is I want to find a snowplow. And there's one. Right there. And we're going to go into that view, unpause the game. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. And until then, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.